POV, you're in our mouth. Welcome back, Motorheads, to another episode of Demoted. It's good to be here.
Ross really wanted to do the "you're in my mouth" POV bit.
I just felt like it was so relatable. Like, you know when you're in like a mouth.
You know, POV, you're in a mouth.
Yeah.
Totally. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
It's good to have everyone.
It's been a while. I feel like we've been doing double days since you got back from Lisbon.
Yeah.
Like 2 a week, which has been exhausting seeing you that much.
I've been working the pastanatas off my body.
So it's kind of nice. Yeah, you're trimming out.
Yep.
It's good to see you live, and a lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
One actually went viral, one thing that I was attending.
You were an attendee. I just was seeing this on Twitter, and this was the Canva conference. What was it called?
Canva Create 2024 conference. And I went with Annie. It was in LA. And before anything went viral, we saw this opening keynote.
This was the opener.
This was the opener at 9 a.m.
Brutal.
We sit down, lights are off. I'm like, one, am I at a rave?
Yeah.
This is fucking
You're
sick.
at the main stage.
And then two, I didn't realize it was going to be a live performance of Hamilton.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, there were customized songs and raps and audience plants where they were singing, dancing. The C-suite is clapping. There are backup dancers. They're acting. They're
C-suite's just dancing.
Everyone's
like
a
such boomers.
thespian. Like the whole thing was different floors were dressed in different outfits and color coded. Like the whole thing was insane. And I honestly left and I looked at Annie. I'm like, I love Canva. I want to work there.
Well, it's funny because I saw it just blowing up on Twitter, and it was the music. It was the rap video. I know there was a lot more going on. It was a whole like deal, but it was the rap. And if you haven't seen it, Google Canva Rap.
Cause we are Canva Enterprise.
Yeah, it's
We're
that.
gonna touch the sky.
Yeah, it was literally that. And there's like a whole bunch of background dancers. There's like a racially ambiguous rapper.
There's an audience plant of a CIO.
Yeah.
Who's this woman thespian who's like, hang on, I'm a CIO. I have some questions about security and controls.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, wow, is she?
And they're like going back and forth. Like he says his line, he leans back, she leans forward, and they're just like rapping at each other. You know, the classic. Yeah.
And then they end with like a nice solid handshake. Like, looks like we're doing business together. Boom. Like it was insane.
And there's just people just like wiping tears away. Just
no,
like,
that was me. That was me. I was so drinking the Kool-Aid, so bought in.
It is just from the outside, just like watching the video, I was so cringed out. I was like, how much did that performance cost?
I had not an ounce of cringe.
I could have given that to you.
I had not an ounce of cringe. I had pure enjoyment.
Oh my God.
It was like I was walking out of a Broadway musical.
It was so not a Broadway musical. It was like...
Okay, it was off Broadway.
It was off Broadway down the street in a dark alley.
It was so good.
It was like if you gave 10-year-olds a chance to just write lines that rhymed with the last word just rhyming.
Totally.
And like made that a song. Like that's a song. That was it. The bars were lackluster, but anytime you're trying to work words like Canva and enterprise and compliance.
Enterprise is an easy, rhymer.
It's not going to hit the same.
No, but it hit for me, and I was happy to be there.
Yeah,
live.
I mean, needless to say, the Kendrick and Drake beef has been squashed by Canva.
Completely.
Completely squashed. All right, let's
roll the music.
Let's roll the music.
Demoted.
Welcome back to Demoted. Today we don't really have a theme for our episode because we have so many listener write-ins. We're actually just going to be reading and kind of catching up on your submissions.
Yes. And if your submission didn't make it, it's not because we didn't want to. It's because it wasn't good.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. And we therefore didn't want to. So
if you haven't been in at this point, you might not be. No, I'm kidding. We have so many. Thank you guys for writing in.
Yes.
Means the world.
As always, contact at demotedpodcast.com if you want to submit anything. I have an ask.
You have an ask.
I have an ask of the Motorheads. I like need this from you guys. Look, I know you're audio people, right? Maybe you're even visually watching it through the Spotify video app, but it would mean just the world to me if you would smash that subscribe button on YouTube, because we do spend a non-zero amount of money producing a video version of this. And you don't have to watch it there. You know, we just need those subs to go up a little bit.
Totally. We're just looking for subs. We're desperate for subs.
We're desperate for subs.
We'll drop it low for subs.
We will do just unspeakable thanks for subs.
Absolutely. I'll be twerking on this Post-it wall.
Yeah.
For one
If
one
that's
sub.
what it takes, that's what we'll do.
We'll do it.
And we're ready to do a giveaway. I was just saying we should auction off, like, you know, a new sub gets a chance to come sit in one of these beanbags, maybe on one of our laps, and do a photo shoot
with us. Yeah. And I was like, hang on, no one wants that. No one wants the photo shoot at the Motorhead HQ.
We would get the weirdest weirdo, and it'd be so fun.
Just a 300-pound dude sitting on my lap.
Come on down, Terrence.
Come here, Terrence. Number one motorhead.
Up on mama's lap.
Okay. Yeah. So smash that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Please. I know that's like a shameless plea, but I went for it.
I mean, soon you'll be asking for likes on your reels. Like I can't keep up.
We
can't keep asking that much of the motorheads. But
we'll keep subscribe to the YouTube. We need that algo to start pumping.
Yeah. Our episode rundown, we're going to do those story submissions, promoted or demoted. If we have time, we'll get to a couple of Dear Demoteds, which is where we actually give advice. The first ones are more like, we'll just kind of react. There's more of just a shock factor of, I can't believe that happened to you.
Yeah.
No one's really asking for our advice there, but we had to share them with you guys.
We're going to share them because they're too good not to. Before
we get into it, I mean, what's good? What have you been up to?
Long weekend just happened. I went to San Diego and did a little golf school, little golf academy, like up early, just training, get a little lunch break, more training in the afternoon.
How many guys were there? And I'm saying guys because I don't know how many girls went to golf school.
It was two different families were there. Randomly, of course, there another GSB family that was like sandwich.
Oh, no way.
Of course.
So who were you with? You were with your
I was with
parents?
my in-laws.
Oh, your in-laws. Got it.
So for my father-in-law's 70th birthday.
Becca, you were doing golf school too? Wait, obsessed.
Yeah.
So it's a family outing. It's not like I'm picturing military training.
Yeah, no,
like
but it kind of
men.
was. No, but it kind of was. Like we're watching videos. We're like in a classroom.
Oh.
Giving us like theory on golf swings.
No way.
And we're just
You're
like
watching
crunching
tape.
it. We're watching tape. We're breaking down the tape.
Okay. That's a lot.
We're doing segments on drives and chipping and pitching and putting.
You know, after 3 days, you're like, I can't wait to touch a club. Like,
yeah, my hands were so raw when it was done. I went back and I played around as soon as I got back and shot the worst I've ever shot. So it's working.
Thank you, golf school.
Thank you, golf school.
Helped.
That's how it goes, though. You always got to break it down to build it back up. Like when you change a swing, it's always bad.
Are you feeling good about the change? Did you trust the golf school?
Yeah, I trust. I saw some videos of myself. I was like, oh, that actually looks like a pretty good swing, even though it didn't do what I wanted to do. I was like, that looks better than the guy who gets the good result, but like has a shitty swing.
Yeah.
You're like, he's making it work with this
Ross and I actually are southpaws.
Yeah.
You guys care.
Yeah.
Lefty swing.
It's a trait though. Like in baseball, guys would be like, you are such a lefty. Like that's like who I am as a human.
Weirdly.
Of course we're
taking
lefties.
notes in our, of course we're both lefties and Aries. We're taking notes and like with our hooked hands, like dragging across the paper.
I write right-handed because public school forced me to write right-handed.
You write right-handed?
Yes, that's why it's so bad because that's why I look like I'm just like,
oh, that's so funny. I write left and play sports right.
Really?
My dad was like, it's a righty world, sweetheart.
He's right.
When I was in T-ball, of course.
He's right, literally and figuratively.
Okay, so you were at golf school.
Yeah, what's good with you? Were you training for
after the Canva Create conference on Thursday, I did the direct pipeline from Canva Create to BottleRock.
Right.
A music festival. I had the best time. I was, we just lived it up. I don't think I like festivals.
Yeah.
I think I'm too weak for that.
Agree.
Allergies are acting up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
outdoors.
Especially up north.
Yeah.
I'm sort of just like, if I want to pay to see one of my favorite artists, I'll do that.
Yeah.
In a siloed moment.
Right.
Instead of going to like some random stage and I'm like, I don't really know this dude, this random DJ.
Is it like, is it DJ? Like, is it country leaning?
Like I saw T-Pain one day, which was
so yeah.
So it is country.
Very country.
Yeah, it is country. Yeah. He was hilarious. He was like, I've never seen so many white people in my crowd before. And everyone's like, yeah. Like,
did he perform Bartender?
Yes.
Or I'm in love with a stripper?
Yes, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that. It was really good. You should have seen
classics.
me just doing my white girl bounce up and down.
Stripper.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
I listened to that song.
Love BottleRock. Yeah. Okay. That was our weekend. Let's get into some of these story submissions.
All right, here's the first one. Hi, Corp and Natalie. I recently left a company almost 8 years. Hi, Corp and Natalie. I recently left a company.
No, like, here's the thing. We can't read.
Like, as much as I make fun of you guys for your illiterate
when you see
tendency.
The final clip, we've read it at least 7 times.
At least.
And then the worst is you get to the bottom, you read the final punch, flub.
And
blow through a period.
Or you realize that the punchline actually, you read it wrong like earlier, and so it makes no sense. And we're like, okay.
And then Beck has to be like, Natalie, you missed the word not, which was pretty key to the plot.
Pretty key.
Okay.
I'm going to try this again.
So this episode, we're going to record for about 3 hours.
Yes. I'm nervous because there are people in the office doing real work and working out of an office right over there on the conference calls.
We have a live show. Here we go.
Okay, I got this.
One more time, sweetheart. You got this.
Whew. Hi, Corp and Natalie. I recently left a company after almost 8 years there. It was a privately owned corporation and was frankly an HR nightmare all the time. I could write a book, but one story continues to haunt me. At a company Christmas party, awards of service were always given out for 5 years, 10 years, etc. our CEO and president, they're both owners of the company, would always hand out the awards and say a few words about the employee. A coworker of mine was receiving her 5-year anniversary gift. When called up on stage, our president proceeded to announce to the whole company that she was single and asked for the highest bidder. Men in the audience actually started raising their hands. Our president then asked her to start ranking the men with their hands up and was giving out her phone number over the mic. None of this was welcomed or encouraged by the girl receiving her 5-year anniversary gift. Love the podcast. Glad y'all didn't get canceled for that.
Okay.
I can't wait for someone to like say, and then, so we at our holiday party, we were auctioning off our employees because that's what we like to do.
We had a kissing booth. This is insane. I'm not going to lie. At a first listen, I was kind of like, I get to be the bachelorette.
Yeah,
this is awesome. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
This is horrible. This is embarrassing. Not only are you probably getting a $50 Amazon gift card for your 5 years of service. Yeah. That's probably like max that you're getting.
Max.
But then you're getting auctioned off and almost sold. Terrifying.
A lot of not good here.
A lot of not good. And Ross is, hesitant to weigh in here.
As kind of the poster boy of woke king.
Totally.
You
just have to put your foot down.
I have to put my foot down and say enough is enough.
Enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough. It felt bad just reading it. So,
right. I guess I just want to know, so what was the highest bid?
And who did she select?
Yeah, right.
Right. We just have a couple more questions. What was her type?
Right.
Right. Did you start to kind of narrow it down to the top 3?
That's what I'm saying.
I like that she had a say. I do like that.
We do appreciate that. That's forward thinking. That's progressive.
That's great. So thank you. If your company is auctioning off female employees, Ross and I will give a little disclaimer. Probably not great.
Yeah, maybe don't.
Maybe don't auction off your female employees.
Or really any of your employees for that matter.
Really. I'll take a boy toy.
Yeah.
I'll take auctioning off the local SDR. But you can't when it's a woman.
Would for sure do that. If it's like a good SDR, they're worth a lot of money.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was great. No.
Don't do that.
No.
All right. Hit us with number 2.
Okay. I'm going to try to read now. And
I look forward to this.
Bear with me.
So another thing we do is like you guys submit, you guys are super descriptive and super wordy. It's nice. I mean, you write in great prose.
Yes.
But we have to cut out some like meaningless details.
We have to redline.
So we've got bold, we've got things that have been scratched out. We've got like parentheses, like read this, not this.
The best is when our producer, and we were just practicing, like we always read through our outline and I read this line. To which he proceeded to call me a bunch of times, pause, recap, and discuss the setup situation. Oh wait, that was a note from Talon.
Same font. It's
like when Biden did the like pause and look at audience. Okay.
That's what we're working with here, guys. We're doing our best.
Take 1. Here we go. Hi, Natalie and Ross. First of all, fucking love the pod and both your content. Anyways, I have a work story that you may or may not find funny. I work in legal recruiting at a big law firm in a major city in the US. Around this time last year, I had only been at the firm for 2 to 3 months. I fell into a situationship around the time I started, so that was going on for about 3 months as well. We'll call that dude Alex. It came time for the annual mandatory firm-wide safety training Zoom. Of course, you know the annual mandatory firm-wide safety training Zoom.
I have it on my calendar.
Every year.
Circled.
Which just so happens to coincide with me finding out on Instagram.
Wait, can we just pause for a second? My voice just cracked so hard right there.
Well, you're going through puberty.
Circled.
It's okay.
Circled. Megan looked at me like, what the fuck? And I heard it too.
We need to keep reading this so that we can then pause to recap the setup situation.
We're at the safety meeting every year.
We're at the safety meeting, which just so happens to coincide with me finding out on Instagram that another girl had recently done a lingerie photo shoot at Alex's house in his guest bedroom.
What?
I texted him and was obviously like, the fuck?
Yeah.
To which he proceeded to call me a bunch of times. Pause to recap setup situation.
Yeah, okay, let's recap the setup situation.
Okay, so we got the classic annual mandatory firm-wide safety training Zoom.
Everyone knows that one?
Everyone knows that one. She's in a situationship with Alex, and she finds out over Instagram that he's hosting a little lingerie photo shoot at his crash pad.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
So we have a couple of questions at the setup situation that I don't think get answered.
They don't get answered.
Is Alex a photographer?
Right. I think that's a very important question. Does he do this?
Is he holding the camera and pointing and shooting?
Right.
Okay. Is he saying work it?
Right.
Is he saying slide that panty to the side?
Right.
Is he saying bend it back?
Right. Pop lock,
show me little crack.
Right.
What's
Tasteful
he saying?
cheeks.
Tasteful cheeks. Is he saying...
That's what directors say. They say stuff like that.
He's saying grab the...
Remember our photo shoot for the Demoted Melissa? She was just like...
Oh, she's like, Natalie, legs on the wall.
Yeah, legs on the wall.
Totally. So what's he saying? Is he directing?
Right.
Or is he just saying, you guys use this room in my house and do whatever you want?
I have a
I'll be in the
gorgeous
kitchen.
area. Yeah.
I'm not even involved. I'm playing Fortnite over here in my basement.
Right.
And those are two different things.
Situationship and like this is a relatively new word for me.
Okay.
The whole situationship.
Yeah.
Like, is that kind of a way we describe things that don't have labels, so to speak? Like we're like a thing, but we don't know if we're a thing, like, but we're kind of a thing. Is that what that means?
Yeah. I describe it as the guy hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend and you still treat him as your boyfriend.
Okay. Got it.
Sometimes it can be the reverse as well.
Yeah, but rarely. I see. So we didn't have the conversation. He's probably like, what do you mean? Like,
he's like, what?
We're not exclusive.
What are we? That's what I'm picturing. Him saying that.
Got it. Okay? Yeah, I mean, like realistically, if you're a good dude, you know, if you're someone like myself,
Ross is always rooting for the good dude.
I'm always rooting for the good dude.
You always think men have the best intentions, and I love that about you.
I would be clear. I don't think they do. Most of them don't. But I just when a good one comes up,
what if he just lost his phone and forgot to text her?
Right.
And warn her about the shoot.
Right. What if this like came up and she was like super famous? She's like, I'm going to offer you $10,000. You're the best photographer I know.
I'm
going to get naked in your apartment.
He's working paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
To provide a good life for this
All I'm going to say is, yes,
lawyer.
maybe he could have reached out to him and like, hey, so.
Well, we don't know. She's also
chick.
finding out on Instagram, which is usually the classic, like, hey, your boyfriend's cheating on you vibe. Like that's how all the celebs find out that like their man is DMing some other girl.
Yeah, TMZ or social.
It's always Instagram DM.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bad look.
Bad luck. So let's continue the story now that we've unpacked the setup.
Yeah.
The Zoom safety training was starting, but I was like, whatevs, it's boring. I'll just be camera off and mute, see what the weirdo fuckboy has to say. Oof. Little did I know, I had not muted myself when I logged onto the Zoom and answered the phone. About 75 people, mostly lawyers, heard me yelling things like, I'm supposed to believe you just needed to use your house for OnlyFans photos? And my friends told me that I'm literally on crack if I believe you didn't bang her. Luckily, after about 5 minutes or so, a female partner on the firm messaged me on Teams saying, alert, you're unmuted. And the entire firm can hear this conversation. Obsessed.
You're on crack if you think that he's not banging her. You are literally on crack.
Go get an STD test.
Yeah.
And we're done.
I don't know why this sort of just like fits the vibe kind of of lawyers for myself.
It feels like lawyers.
It feels like
it feels very corporate too. It feels like what this podcast is about. It feels appropriate.
Right.
Feels really businessy.
Yeah. To me, it feels like something where all the other lawyers are listening. Like, shit, you've been there.
Been there.
They're like snapping.
Yeah.
They're like,
all the lawyers in the house.
Yeah. They're like, get it, queen. Get it.
Why are lawyers so deviant?
I don't know. Because you got to be kind of deviant to want to go to law school and just argue with people for a living.
3 years and then just argue.
Take that test. Take that bar exam. You're so miserable at that point. They've broken you down entirely. You feel nothing anymore. It's a lot like sales in that way.
Giving 3 years of life. Yeah. My friend at GSB is dating someone who's in law school.
Yeah.
And she just works 30 times harder than him.
Yeah.
It's like
they choose that.
Yeah. And they're there for 3 years. That sucks.
Right. But then you got shows like The Lincoln Lawyer where you're like, dang, lawyers are dope.
Lawyers are dope.
Our
lawyer charges us a pretty penny. But we love her. Okay. That was the lawyer photo shoot debacle. Hope you enjoyed that.
I don't really have much advice there. Maybe break up with Alex.
I liked listening. I think break up with Alex.
Yeah. And the fact that you still have a job, I think that's fine. I wouldn't fire you for that.
The classic lawyer dating the starving photographer.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
A woman in power.
You are literally on crack if you think he's not banging her.
You are literally on crack.
Which is super helpful for friends to say. Instead of like, hey, like maybe there's an explanation. Hey, like,
no,
maybe there's like more going on here. No, fuck that.
You are literally a crackhead.
You crackhead.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. What's next, Ross?
All right. Hi, corporate Natalie and Ross. Okay.
Thank you for addressing me as my first and last name.
I love my job and work for a great company and team. All except for my male coworker. He thinks we're work besties. We are absolutely not. I could deal with this, but he constantly refers to himself as daddy. He just had a baby, and I'm very happy for him and his wife. But it's not like he's doing baby talk or parent talking and referring to him and his wife as mommy and daddy. He's saying it in a low, slow, deep voice. It's daddy.
Hang on.
It's creepy, gross, and uncomfortable. This happens at least once a day. He comes to my cubicle and calls himself daddy and shows me pics of his kid. Not cute ones. I've seen a lot of post-diaper blowout ones. He has to be aware of what he's doing, right? I don't know if he's doing this because I'm younger than him or because I'm a woman, but I don't want someone to come to my desk and refer to himself as daddy, and I really don't want someone to talk about baby shits or vomit. I literally couldn't give a shit. Sorry, I'm not a poo-poo pee-pee girly. I dread seeing him. What do I do? We could never work if you're not a poo-poo pee-pee girly.
If you're not, to be a motorhead, you do have to be like somewhat of a poo-poo pee-pee girly.
Somewhat.
I I'm only that because Ross requires it of me.
I do require it. It's just a basic job requirement.
So
we're going to make merch that says poo poo pee pee.
People will love wearing that.
How could they not wear that
just
out?
Poo poo pee pee across the chest. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. Let's start with Daddy.
Let's start with Daddy.
And then let's get into our favorite poo poo pee pee. Daddy at work, I think, is almost always not okay.
I very rarely, and by rarely, I mean never hear someone describing themselves as daddy in a serious way.
No.
Or really comfortable way. It's like designed to be uncomfortable.
I'm kind of picturing you on the sales floor banging the gong and screaming, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah.
I do picture that for you.
Well, see, that would make sense.
And that's maybe the only use case, right?
Right.
But calling yourself daddy in a low, slow voice, as was stated, seems like assault in a way.
It's violating.
It's extremely violating.
Extremely violating. And
look
I
what
agree.
Daddy did this weekend.
Yeah.
Look at this poo-poo pee-pee Daddy cleaned up.
You want to see what Daddy made? And there's this baby full of shit.
Look at Daddy with his shirt off holding baby by the pool.
Yeah. Gross. It's gross. I agree, particularly a part about, like, I don't really care about baby shits or vomit, or mostly just babies and stuff. Like, I don't really care.
Ross has very openly talked about loving kids. You want to dive in even deeper?
I just can't stand it. Like, the occasional one, like, if you got a funny ass picture of your kid, like, that's actually funny. Not like funny because it's yours, it's cute.
Look at him in a backwards hat.
He's got the fucking backwards hat. He's got the fucking backwards. That one, I'm just like.
Are you serious? You just put a backwards hat on him.
Yeah.
Have you seen the conscious baby on TikTok?
No.
Oh,
do I need to see this?
My gosh.
Is it an actual baby?
Yes, this will be released way too late and the trend will have died. But to all my girlies out there who definitely know what this is, there is a viral video of a mom behind a camera saying, "Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?" And this dad is holding a baby in a diaper.
Yeah.
And the baby goes, "Me," and holds up a hand, which, like, a baby at that age shouldn't be aware of, like, me, I, pronoun, anything. Like, they're just kind of goo goo gagaing.
Yeah.
This baby, me. And people are stitching it with like an AI overlay, being like, "Yes, mother, I would love nothing more than to go to the Four Seasons Orlando." Like, so then that's the Four Seasons sponsored their trip to Orlando, and this baby's gone mega viral. It's like dressed up in a tux, like eating spaghetti. Okay. It's called the conscious baby. That baby I want to see. I want to see more of. I want that baby in my veins. Put a backwards hat on that baby. Love it.
Inject that baby right into my veins. Yeah, just generally speaking, kids are not that cute to me.
No, you don't like kids. That's okay. You're going to love your kid.
Some kids are cool. Some kids can be cool. I'm just saying less is more with the kids thing, and I'll be a good sport. But if you keep coming back, then mixing in daddy and then showing diaper blowouts.
Less is more with kids. No is no on the diapers, and absolutely not to daddy.
No daddy in the workplace. Please, please. Enough.
Okay, well, that was an insane story. Ross, I have to give you a shrimp alert. Please sit up. Are you not sleeping in your Thuma bed?
I haven't been. I've been traveling. I've been moving around. Like I said, I was in San Diego. I clearly am missing the quality craftsmanship, the sturdy, strong silence of a Thuma bed.
Hang on. So you're saying you look like a shrimp because you haven't got a built to last and back with a lifetime warranty Thuma bed yet?
I think that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't have. When I was at this hotel, I didn't have the modern design that elevates any bedroom.
And you're telling me right now that you're not going to leave this podcast and immediately type into your browser Thuma.co.
That's exactly what I'm doing because I want to upgrade my space and more likely upgrade my life.
With Thuma.
With Thuma.co.
Once again, that's Thuma.co to learn more. Okay. This one's short and sweet, so you won't have to deal with our dyslexic fumbles. A guy I work with would lean over my cubicle every day and ask me what I was eating. He would do this while he would take a fork full of my food without asking. His name was Peter, and I now hate that name.
His name was Peter, and I now hate that name.
Peter the food stealer.
It's also just like violating.
Like sharing a fork with a colleague is not okay. Putting a fork in my food, I mean, I just...
having the audacity to stab my food.
Because all I've brought, obviously, is like a lean cuisine or like some pre-made meal that I'm going to be starving when I finish it no matter what.
Right, you're going to go get the chomps.
You taking 1/4 of it?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Absurd.
I mean, I already lose my shit when Becca's like, "Just one," and she grabs like a fry.
One fry. You're so that guy. The Tim Robinson sketch.
Yeah, like if my like right hand was actually a saw blade, I would just take her hand right off. Like in that moment, I would just gone. And then you learn your lesson.
one fry.
It's gory. It's terrible. I'd be like, I'm
Ross
so
will
sorry.
sever your hand over one fry.
I will sever your hand.
Do not offer to share with Ross.
What?
And then he'll steal half of Becca's
I'll steal
food.
half of your food because I need it.
I need to eat more.
It's different. I'm bulking.
I'm a growing boy.
Anyway.
Okay. That's hilarious.
We'll discuss this later.
Ross and Peter have a lot in common, it appears.
No, I would never do that because again, you never know if somebody's hand is a saw. And, and they're just going to take you right off. I mean, and you would deserve it. Peter deserves it.
This girl deserved a saw hand.
And now I hate
Peter's.
and I wish I had a saw hand. Okay. Anyway, this is our last one.
Is that how you guys thought this episode would go? I just want to check in. Like, is that how people thought this was going to
You guys are going to love this episode. They talk about having a saw for a hand. No, it's business related. No, it's business related. It's business adjacent.
It's adjacent.
We're super adjacent right now. We're kind of across the street. Okay. I interned at this company and had a 28-year-old drop dead gorgeous intern. Let me restart this because I got the first word right.
Take your time, sweet boy.
I got the first word right, which was one letter.
It's okay.
The next word is the one I skipped. Interned. Okay, here we go. I interned at this company, had a 28-year-old drop dead gorgeous internship counselor at that company. Again, you guys write, which makes it hard for me to read. Okay, 4 years later, I'm her coworker. She makes a move on me a night after a night in the bar. We proceed to have an affair for 2 months. Parentheses, sex in her car, everything. She wants to leave her husband for me. I feel guilty and cut it off. She requested a transfer after that because she couldn't handle not flirting with me or being with me. Weird time in my life. Kind of, quote, groomy, too, now that I think about it.
First of all, this guy's an absolute stallion.
Absolute beast.
Like, wow.
Like
he's just trying to show up to work. She can't keep her hands off him.
Yeah, like it's like tough. Like, you come in, you're like, you were an intern, now you're an FTE.
She's like, mother's room now.
Yeah. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, because
exactly.
She's drop dead gorgeous.
He just
Yeah. She's so old and 28.
I can't do that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, kind of a weird situation.
It's kind of everyone's dream. It's like you have a crush on someone. He's like, she's drop dead gorgeous. Then you're banging in your car.
Yeah.
Like, props to this guy.
Yeah. But, then you got the morality thing where he's like, after we banged for a couple months, then I felt bad.
Then it was too much.
I kind of like got everything I needed here and
I was done. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, she totally groomed me. Like I got groomed.
I was just kind of over it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a weird I mean, this is one that, there's a lot of different angles going on here.
Ross will, of course, take the angle that he's a good dude.
I just think he meant well. Like he was
groomed,
18.
He meant well.
He joins the company. She's in a position of power. And he loved it for 2 months and then he didn't anymore.
And I take her side.
And I take her side.
100%.
These are adults making adult choices. At the end of the day.
If you're the intern counselor and you're grooming your previous interns, that is not healthy.
That's a problem.
And Ross and I always have to say that because as much as we joke in these bean bags and we're comfortable with each other and we're making a really tasteless grooming joke.
Yep.
We don't stand by that.
We don't stand by that.
Right. So let's tell him, let's put the text overlay here.
Yep. We're two medical professionals who don't stand by grooming.
Cover our asses.
Yeah.
And then we'll head into our next segment.
Let's get out of here before we get in trouble.
Canceled again. Here we go. This one is about enhancing corporate language.
Yeah. Corporate pleasantries need an update.
Right?
They do.
I'm bored. I'm sick and tired.
Yeah, we're using the same old shit.
So what would you do to change it?
Instead of labeling an email...
Talking English.
Instead of labeling an email as urgent, try saying, quote, I have your entire family tied up in my basement.
Easy.
That'll
get it done. Instead of saying, let's put a pin in it, just say, I don't really want to talk about this anymore, bitch.
That's...
A tasteful bitch
hits every time
in a written format in a corporate setting does play. It does.
It's respectful. It's confident.
And I feel like we're not using it enough.
Yep. Instead of saying, I hope this email finds you well, try saying, I hope this email finds you not thinking about the existential fact that we all die one day.
Wow. Dark. I just spiraled a little bit.
Well, I hope they're not thinking about that because that would suck.
Instead of saying best in your email sign off, just sign off with go to hell, Natalie.
Yeah.
Right?
Honesty. We love honesty. Instead of saying per my previous email, try saying, are you friggin' illiterate, Susan? Can you not scroll up and read the previous email I sent you?
I love that.
If you use first names, it hits so much harder.
It does.
Which is why when that person wrote Dear Corporate Natalie and Ross, that felt like,
ugh. Instead of saying just checking in, say, are you serious right now, Ethan? Are you ghosting me? I really thought we had something, but I guess I'm just another one of your whores.
I guarantee you, Ethan gets back to you.
Ethan's going to hit my line immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting a phone call on the work phone.
You obviously, you don't have a sexual relationship with Ethan at all.
No.
This is just...
You've spoken to Ethan maybe 3 times.
Ethan's just like a distant client.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It plays.
It plays. And it does work. So those are some really effective ways to spruce up and spice up your corporate pleasantries.
Totally. Take our advice. It'll work.
All right, let's shift into our favorite segment, promoted, demoted. Do we like it? Do we hate it? Do we endorse it? Do we not?
Here's the first one I'll give to you. Pen pals.
I'll promote it. Did you ever have a pen pal?
I didn't have a pen pal.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it like someone at your school?
No, you know what he's doing right now?
What?
He's fighting in the Russia-Ukraine war.
What?
Yeah. I'm actually dead serious.
Do you have a military pen pal, or was he?
No, he's just, his country is under attack by Russia right now, and so he has to defend it. His name is Misha. He's from Ukraine, which is where my dad's side of the family is from. And we used to correspond back and forth. His English, like it was all in English. His English was super broken.
What age was this?
This was probably like 10.
Okay.
Like 9, 10, 11.
And you still keep in contact?
I don't keep in contact with him now. My dad does still keep in contact. They're like, more distant relatives.
Yeah.
But like he's, reached out to them a few times. My dad wrote a whole story about it. My dad's a journalist. He wrote a story about Ukraine, went to visit Ukraine. I was like, this is a long time ago. So he still calls them and be like, hey, how we doing?
Yeah.
Because we're reading about it and it kind of sucks.
Oh my gosh.
So Misha, good news is we know he's alive, but we don't know where he is because they can't tell us. But he's out there. So I'm promoting it. But we used to talk about Warcraft. We used to talk about video games. We both played the same video games and we'd talk and like kind of broke. My English was broken just because I was dumb. His English was broken because that was not his first language. So
wow. Okay. Amazing pen pal story.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Didn't mean to get heavy.
Got really heavy.
Yeah, didn't mean to.
And wow. Okay.
Pen pals are tight. Super random and weird.
Pen pals are awesome.
Yeah.
My prayers and thoughts go out to Misha
and
his family.
Yeah.
And I wish I had a pen pal that inspired me.
Promoted, demoted, sending love letters to serial killers in prison.
Obsessed. Huge market for that.
What is it? Is this like from the new Netflix show? Is there some shit about that?
No. Well, Gypsy Rose obviously came out of prison with a husband. She wasn't a serial killer.
Right.
She just killed her mom, which is like totally fine.
Right. It's not serial.
And we all like idolize her.
Killer.
We idolize her.
She just killed her mom.
She's just a singular killer. But you hear a lot about people writing into like Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Like people become obsessed with like almost the fan fiction around it. And like, I don't know why. It's like a weird, almost like kind of
like weirdly, like kind of like
kink.
how did you have the courage to like kill all those people?
Totally. And like people want to pick their brains and like, I don't really know. So I'm going to promote it because I hope there's a Netflix series about it.
Yeah.
One day.
I'm going to demote it personally.
I think I'm going to go back on my initial response. I'm going to demote it too.
Yeah. I don't know if the serial killers deserve any sort of contact with the outside world and the fact that they could be idolized.
Yeah. And they get to just be like, well, I actually first was stalking her and that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little scary.
Demoted. Thank you, Talon, for these awesome promoted or demoted.
I like this next one.
Promoted or demoted. Doctor's appointments for men over the age of 35.
We're going to do this. Should I do this? Do I want to talk about this?
I'm going to need the story.
So as many healthy adult males do, I have a doctor's appointment every year to, check up. I do blood tests, whatever, annual physical. We do our normal thing. I went to my physical this year, got my blood test and everything. Guy was like, your blood looks fucking phenomenal. And I was like, thanks, doc. This is dope. And he goes to the window and he like closes the blinds. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, and then he goes to the gloves hanging on the wall.
Stop.
He takes a single glove out. And I was like, what's going on?
What's happening?
What's going on? He's like, well, you're 35 now. We got to do a prostate exam.
No.
And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I think I'm good.
I'm more clenched than I've ever been in my life.
Like you've been touching the front for so many years. Like, why don't we just stick with what we know?
Totally.
I'll close my eyes and cough and do that whole thing.
I'm going to need 75 business days warning before you pull out the glove.
And he was like, you're the type of guy. Cause I said that I was like, you could give me some warning. He's like, you're the exact kind of guy I don't warn. And I was like,
you're the type of guy.
Okay. Well, first of all, how do I get out of this? He's like, you're not. He's like, it's fine.
Doors locked and blinds are closed.
He's like, just drop your pants, turn aside, grab the table. This will be like 3 seconds. And at this point, he's got his whole finger is covered in lube. He has absolutely just full fist into the gel. He's sitting there holding this and he goes, please don't deprive me of one of the things that I love to do. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So he can say that to me. It's not that weird because what makes this worse is this guy is my childhood friend's father.
No.
So
cut that.
He's not in the clergy. It's fine. He's a doctor. He's a very good doctor at UCSF.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so he's like, bend over. And so what does a guy like me think? There's two things I'm worried about. Am I gonna poo poo pee pee on him or am I gonna come? Because everybody talking, you've heard the rumors. The key to an instant gasm for a dude
one option
is the butthole.
My God.
And so then I'm like about to lean over and I'm like, okay. Now the new thought crossed my head, like, how do I do this? Do I like kind of old man hunch over or do I like pop it? Like do I pop it?
Back arched.
Like, do I arch my back? I'm like
throw your hair back.
I'm like, what is the form? What is the form here?
Oh,
and
my
so
God,
naturally
so you arch it.
No, but I arch the other way. I look like I'm having a back problem. And I'm just like, oh no.
Stop
and then
it.
all of a sudden, he goes, he's like, that's your prostate, and that's something else. And he pulls his finger. and in the same second he pulls his finger out, he also wipes my ass. He wipes my ass. He pulls a finger out, wipes my ass because it's full of whatever he fisted right before he went in. So there's just lube everywhere, and he wipes. And I'm like, and then the other thing I'm like, okay. What do you say now to your doctor?
Can we cuddle for a second?
Yeah, I'm like,
or do I just get out of here?
Yeah, I'm like, can you call me an Uber or something? I should probably go. Like, what do I do? What do I do?
Oh my God.
I went to the doctor's like,
what are we?
I'm already mentally prepared for like, the whole cough thing. And like, but this thing I had no preparation for.
That is insane.
That's insane. Anyway, demoted doctor's appointments at 35. I'm going to demote them.
You're going to demote them.
No, I think everybody should go.
And you have to go back next year.
I don't think I have to do
can't wait
anything.
for round two.
All I know is I might have to make this every 3 years.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wow, I haven't laughed that hard in a while. That was great.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, how many knuckles, doc? And I didn't.
I didn't. Just please. Oh my God. Okay.
Promoted. Go to your doctor's appointments.
Once again, this is a corporate podcast. We talk about corporate stuff. My brand and my career is done after associated with you.
Demoted, corporate rap battles.
Okay. I'm obsessed.
You're obsessed.
I mean, I love watching corporate C-suite executives dancing on a stage while hired actors are singing and rapping.
Yeah.
I was moved. It was something, it was unlike I've never seen. I mean, we went to the keynote.
Do you feel like it was like a religious experience?
Like in a way.
Yeah.
One time my family and I started going to this new church. It was, I won't name it, but it was like a fun kind of new Presbyterian church in town.
And like modern.
Like all the cool families were going. We're like, let's try it, whatever. And we had gone to a few and we're like, okay, this is fun. There's a lot of singing, like whatever. We're not like super religious. We're just kind of the family that's like, we should probably go Creaster, Christmas and Easter, right? Like just in case.
Like hit the spot a couple times because what if we're wrong? What if he is alive? What if he is real?
What if he is real? What if there's heaven out there? Like I want to make sure I got a one-way ticket.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So we go at Christmas and we are handed a glow stick on our way in and a like sheet of all the songs and a candle that you hold, whatever. So I have so many props, right?
Yeah.
So we're holding our basket of props
Holy
when we walk
shit.
in. I'm going to try to look for this video because there was one song, you would have thought we were at a rave. Everyone's swinging their glow stick around.
It's Sandstorm.
It's literally like, when we eat this bread, oh Lord, like screaming, bouncing, jumping up and down. And my family, we all looked at each other. We kind of left. We're kind of bought in. We're like hooting and hollering. Then we left and we went to dinner. We looked at each other. We were like, was that a little much? It was such a moment where we were like, that was okay. I don't know if we're going to go back there, but that was fun.
You almost like that's the like precipice of where cult life begins.
Totally. And we decided to back away.
You backed away instead of
leaning in.
Instead of trust falling face forward.
Totally.
Yeah.
Which we would have been caught and saved.
You would have been caught and saved.
By Jesus. Okay. So That, let's see, corporate rap battles promoting.
Speaking of corporate rap battles, religious stuff.
Slight tangent. Might have to cut that.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm not going to promote it. It's so hard to get right. It's so hard to get right. They should have got Harry Mack in there to freestyle about it instead of
They also had a ton of designers in the room who like loved Canva, and they would like announce a new feature, and people would be like, "Yes, finally!"
Like, no way.
Like, you felt like it was cool to be there, right?
Yeah.
Like they handed out rally rags before it started.
Yeah,
so funny.
That's wild.
All right,
that's wild.
Promoter demoted Jacked 3D, the workout supplement.
Yeah. Oh my God. To all the motorheads, all of D gang out there, all the dudes who used to lift like a ton of weight, like your boy.
Okay.
So Jack 3D was a pre-workout powder, and it didn't use caffeine. And you would get this strange tingly sensation when you take it. You're like, oh fuck yeah, that's just working.
Like the antler, like whatever.
No, but I did try that too. I can tell you about that later. I got real depressed and had weird dreams, but that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack 3D was basically, it eventually got banned. So like, there's not a real way to make a pre-workout at this point without caffeine, unless you take amphetamines, put them in there, and say, here's your pre-workout. There's no caffeine because it's literally meth.
That's easy.
So basically Jack 3D was, as described to me by a doctor, molecularly like one like altered molecule off of being what you would like speed effectively.
Perfect. Were you like addicted to it? Could you not work out without it?
I wasn't like addicted. I probably was, but it was more just like it killed my appetite and I could lift like an absolute freak.
Totally.
All the time.
Skinny, shredded.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Never more shredded.
No.
And they eventually banned it. And so people would buy it all around the world and try to stock up and save it. You know, similar to Four Locos like, thing.
Did you stock up on Four Locos?
I did not stock up on either one.
Is that what's in your shelter?
I threw up so much blue shit all over the street with Four Locos. I just don't need to do that again. But Jack 3D was like truly the goated workout supplement. I have never found anything quite like it since. I still dream about it.
Oh my God. You hitting the YMCA.
Oh my God.
Just like get some Jack
tingling,
3D. Yeah,
just like kind of sweating, just kind of itching.
Angry.
Oh my God. Agitated.
Miss that.
All right, let's take it to our final segment here. A couple Dear Demoteds, people asking for work advice from us.
Let's bring it back to corporate.
Right. And if anyone wants advice on doctor's appointments, let me know.
Totally. Because Ross is a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
Dear Demoted, first of all, love the podcast. Can't wait to listen to each week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second, I need your thoughts on when to add a job or leave it off your resume. I got laid off over a year ago and returned to my old industry, hospitality, in the meantime to pay the bills. The Rebound job is one that was easy for me, but it's not in my professional career path. I recently accepted a new role in a new field after a year of being in this Rebound job. My question for you both is, should I put this Rebound job on my resume while I worked in it for a year, or should I just have a year-long gap in my resume? Looking forward to the next pod. Keep up the good work. Interesting. Oddly specific.
Oddly specific.
I'm not like really well versed on what people look for in an HR department, but what I would say is absolutely keep it on.
Absolutely keep it.
It shows that you're working. You're not sitting around. Like I have friends right now who are unemployed and working at like Viore, like the mall, like just trying to like pay the bills. And I think there's no shame in that. Yeah,
of course. I feel like, there's like an element of shame. We feel like we somehow stepped back or stepped down. And I think like that's already in and of itself more of a societal problematic thing. Like similarly, I had a friend go work at West Elm. While she found a new corporate job. You know, why not? And she actually still like works random shifts there because she genuinely enjoyed it. And obviously not everybody's picking these jobs because they enjoy it. But I as a hiring manager have more respect for like, I had to pay the bills, like got a job. Shit sucks lately. Like it's been hard to get jobs, harder than ever. So, you know. I recently just told a friend, like there's no shame in like even bartending at like, you know, on a few nights a week. Like that's awesome. I wish I missed the phase of my life where I could have bartended. Like, I don't know. I just don't think there's shame in it. I think being a hard worker and filling your time wisely and is really impressive. There's absolutely no shame there. It's all part of the story. I think that's like a very impressive thing to have done. So I agree. To me, that's pretty cut and dry. Put it on the resume. Put it on the resi, talk about it. Keep it. Dear Demoted, today I interviewed a candidate for a robotic clinical launch position, which is typically a very professional medical device sales rep position. When I sign into the Teams link, the guy I'm interviewing, named James based on his resume, pops up as, quote, your mom. During the interview, the word your mom sits at the bottom of the screen. He seemed to not know it was there, and there was no acknowledgement of the name. My coworker interviewed him and had the same, quote, your mom name pop up. I really like the candidate and think he could be a great fit, but I'm not sure if I can move past the fact that he named himself your mom. Should I hire him? Should I address it with him before he gets to our VP interview? If I don't, should I tell him why? SOS. That's fucking hilarious. And there's a picture of it.
There's a picture which we're going to put here. It's like kind of like not, I can't see it that well here, but we're going to put it in the middle here if you're watching on video. This is crazy and hilarious.
This is so funny.
Like, what's the context of that? Were you using Teams like deep in COVID when you were playing games with your friends online?
I have done this. I am guilty of this.
Well, totally. But like, when do we use Zoom socially now? Like, this is 2024 submission.
Yeah.
The only time I can think of is COVID times. Do you feel like you do this currently?
I mean, the other piece is like, we're talking about Teams here. You know, anybody uses Teams. Who uses Teams? Shame on you. It's because you got it for free. We already know. And look, again, I can be a Salesforce shill all I want, but Teams is like WebEx to Slack, which is just like, or Zoom, which is just, you know, like Teams is just so antiquated. So like my assumption is this person like doesn't use Teams, used it sometime back in COVID, like you said, logged on. Like to change a Zoom name, you have to like log into the desktop app, like website, like unless you change it right when you log in. So if you don't know.
In Teams, I get prompted like, what's your name? And you type it out before you go in.
Oh, bruh. If that's the case.
But like, I have to assume it's not. If he's dead serious taking this interview and be like, my weakness, I would say, is blah, blah, blah. And he's like interviewing very well. There's no way that's him.
Yeah. I would probably bring it up just to be like, bro, what are you doing?
Was this a bit?
Yeah.
What if he was just like, honestly, I was trying to stand out, show I had a little personality.
Yeah. If that's the case, you're hired, dog. Hired. Get in here.
And we love it.
Would you hire him? And I don't think there's a right answer here.
I personally don't find yo mama jokes that funny.
Yeah.
I think this is funny in the context, but like, I don't know if there were other equally as good candidates.
Right. This would be an easy, knock.
Like, we don't need these jokes around here. Like,
or we don't need someone who's like going to miss this detail. Like if it's super important.
Like, are you going to join the client call to try to pitch this and have your mom? Like that is kind of important.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. If he's far and away the best candidate, I might hire him. But again, if it's close between anyone, like you said, I'm like, bro, this is what you did. Like, if you
have the conversation, which I think you have to, because you just have to know how he reacts. If he reacts like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. Like maybe it was, and he's like remorseful and embarrassed.
Someone played a prank on him.
Or like, I have no clue. Like maybe someone played a prank, whatever. Or if he's like, yeah, did you like that? I wanted to stand out. Like the former, I would be like, okay, this is an honest mistake.
Yeah.
The latter, I'd be like, okay, you're kind of a freak.
Yeah.
This makes me question everything.
Yeah. This is genuinely hilarious. But yeah, I would tell him. I would for sure tell him. Things I would do, tell him.
Regardless if you hire him or not.
Regardless of whether you hire him or not.
This dude's going to keep joining Teams calls. And
yeah. Save him from himself.
Yes.
Because he can interview well. I mean, then again, most salespeople, in my opinion, interview pretty well, or they should interview well. She mentioned, or whoever submitted this, robotic clinical launch position, which is typically very professional medical device sales, which like
I blacked out when you read that. Sorry. What?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I see the word robot, clinical, I don't know, medical device. I don't know what medical devices is, but a lot of times you're dealing with life and death, or you're dealing with, people's health and a lot of laws, and you need to be very detail oriented. That's a problem. So
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, that's hilarious. That's funny.
Thanks for sticking with us through Ross's prostate exam.
That was not in the outline.
Through coworkers calling you daddy. There was a lot going on this episode, to even being auctioned off.
Yeah.
In a sort of raffle style.
A lot of cringe in this episode.
A lot of cringe, a lot of laughs. I was laughing.
I was laughing too. I'm pouring sweat.
Great time with you this episode. This was lovely. We hope you all had a great time listening. Ross's plea, as mentioned, was to smash that subscribe button.
Smash that sub button on the YouTube, please. Again, you don't have to watch it there. You don't have to listen to it there. But it really would mean a great deal. Yeah. If you did do that.
I mean, this guy just got a rubber glove up his butt.
I mean, literally.
The least he could do is smash the subscribe button.
I have been walking with a slight limp now.
For months. Yeah.
So
horrible. Poor guy. Contact at Demoted Podcast with your submissions. You can also, on our website, leave an audio submission, which is very exciting because we want to hear your voice. We're done flubbing the stories.
Yeah, God.
So hard reading. And so if you just said it for us, it would be way easier.
It would be way easier. So enjoy the rest of your week, everyone, and tune in next time on Demoted.